So when I emailed James about this song, I said, the title of my talk is Do It Now. And ever since I bought Dina Riesch's CD, I've been playing this song. Just grabbed my heart. It just got a hold of my soul and wouldn't let me go. So I've been singing it in the car, I'm singing it in the shower, I'm singing it in the bedroom, and I'm in a townhouse with adjoining walls, so I close all the doors and I get in the hall and I'm belting it out and I'm pounding on the floor and I'm keeping beat on the door, and I just went, I don't see how I can wiggle out of this one, because I'd already written the words as the beginning of my talk, and I just went, but you're not speaking those words, are you? No, I was singing those words. So I sent him the email, and I said, so what I'm asking is, can I sing this song at the beginning of my talk? And there was 5% of me that going, maybe he'll say no. But 95% really wanted to do it. So that was just so cool. Like, I couldn't wiggle out of it. So Spirit was just like clamoring to get out of me. Spirit wanted to come out here and express in a different way through me than I have done before on this particular platform. And it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. I used to... And the thing is, words, when Spirit flows through me and rocks through me, and the words move me, but music moves me as well. And I think when the words and the music come together, something moves me. When people sing, it takes me to a different place. And I said in there, when I'm singing this song, I become the all. And Sharon said, she said, and it was in the quote, when I become silent, I fall into that place where it's all music, and music just moves something in my DNA. I don't know, it just lifts me, and I think it has to do with my daddy. So when I was a little wee thing, my daddy and we would go to see his brother, and they would be playing guitars and singing. They sang the same 6 or 8, 10 songs through their whole entire life. And Daddy would call, and we were like 4, 5, 6, my cousin and I, and he'd say, Pat, Nancy, get in here, we need some harmony. Yes, Daddy, and we went in and sang harmony. I didn't know until I was in my 40s that everybody couldn't do that. I just thought they said sing harmony, and it just came out, So I really didn't, honestly, I didn't even know. And so here's the thing. Daddy didn't have the greatest voice. I was told that before they did surgery on his throat, he did have a really great voice, but he didn't know that. And because he didn't know that, nobody else knew it either. He sang with so much gusto, so much joy of life and passion and love that people just flocked to him. They wanted to hear him sing. They wanted to be around that energy. They wanted to be around that passion, that love of life. And when he was in his mid to late 80s, he was on dialysis, and my brother and sister-in-law had moved to Tennessee. And they always brought people. Senators came and everything, and they just sat around and they plunked guitars and they did all this fun stuff and sang. So this guy invited my father to go and sing at the Grand Ole Opry. He actually did. And Daddy said, if it had been 5 years ago, I'd be on the bus. But now I can't do it. But you know what? Just to be asked when you're 84, 85, that's so cool. So what this is about, so what Daddy, and that's what I got from my daddy, is maximum participation with minimum attachment. So what that means is you throw yourself into the crucible of life, and you give from your toes, you give from your blood, you give from your bone, from your heart and your soul, and then you let it go. Because if you try to hold on to it and make it go a particular way or a particular place, what we wind up doing is limiting the limitless. I mean, who would know a coal miner from Illinois would be asked who plunked a little guitar, would be asked to sing on the Grand Ole Opry when he's 84, 85 years old. Miracles can happen and have happened for all of us and continue to happen all the time. That's what maximum participation with minimum attachment. So let's say that I have maximum participation with minimum attachment. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. So when I saw the movie The Secret, that was in like the 90s, right? One of the things I remember from The Secret was they said that if you have an intention, you set an intention, you have a goal, or you're visioning for your purpose, your life dream, your life plan, and something pops up unexpectedly in your face, sometimes we go like that, but what we really need to do is go like that, because it's the universe responding to the energy that you're sending out, and it's that moment when the stars have aligned, and that's your moment. And no matter what it looks like, you need to say yes. You need to take action on it and move on it. It's the universe saying yes, and you don't have any idea what I have in store for you just around the corner, but you're not going to get to see it unless you're willing to take this first little baby step. And they're all little baby steps, really. And they're just one after another, and before we know it, we're there. That's kind of how it works. But what can get in the way for me in the past, not now, but in the past, not for you, is procrastination. So, God, I'm so tired. I mean, I didn't sleep last night. I've been on the go. I had this thing. It's like leaving, but I don't feel it. I'm just going to sit here. Nah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do that later. Later never comes because the moment is past. So it's important that we really listen and really follow what we're being told. And every single time we deny our dream, we're denying spirits urging that feeling that comes through you that wants to express through you in a new, more expanded way than you may have done in the past, or at least a different way than you have done in the past. And so what I know is that there is a something. And I don't care what you call it. It doesn't matter. You could call it peanut butter because God is peanut butter too. But what I know is there is a something in the universe that is greater than what you see standing in front of you here that answers every call. That answers every call. So I was doing a short film two weekends ago, and we're on Mars. Of course, we're on Mars. And so the story is that my husband and I were in an advance team to set up a community that was following us. Only the community never arrived, and so for 40 years we've been stranded on Mars and living underground, whatever. So the first day we were in an above-ground shelter. We shot in it looks like a Quonset hut, but it's round, and they sink them in the ground about 15 feet below. It's called Atlas Shelters, in case you are shopping for one. I don't know. And that went really well. It was a lot of fun. And I was upset with my husband in the shelter because he had gone up there. And he wasn't supposed to go up there. It's definitely not alone without me. And so that night, we all get our emails for the following day, the location and everything, which is a different location. And the little PS at the bottom said, by the way, we're going to be shooting in an underground bunker, a 10 by 10 foot concrete bunker that is sunk 15 feet below the ground. It was built in 1961 in the Cold War. And if anyone has a problem with claustrophobia, let me know. So I emailed him back and I said, in the past I've had, little problem with the claustrophobia, but I certainly can handle it, So, well, first of all, it was in the past, and second of all, it wasn't a little problem. But So we arrived, and for about an hour and a half, they lowered things down into this hole. Well, this is show and tell, because when I told my daughter, she said, yeah, that sounds interesting. But when I showed her the picture of what we climbed down, it's a whole different story. So I'm watching people go up and down, and it became my turn. And I had been praying up a storm. And, there are no accidents. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, right? And God's in there too. And my very first handhold going down the ladder went into cobwebs. That was the good part. Went right into a big cobweb. And I had about 15 more steps to go. So we get in there, this little dark tunnel, I can't even see, and they're leading me down into this little bitty place, which there are now 7 people, a camera, sound equipment, the director, the person who owned the property, because he wanted to be sure we didn't touch anything, and my husband, myself, and a few other assorted characters. The gal who was running sound, who was about 23 years old, screamed when the lizard ran across. And I'm sitting on my chair and I'm going to meditate here. No, that's not the first thing I did. The first thing I did was take my shirt off because I had a camisole on, and I said, I can't breathe. So the shirt came off, the camisole came off, the shirt went back down, and now I'm trying to meditate, and it's not working. Because everybody's going, I need that lot. And you're in this little bit. Oh, and by the way, the ventilation didn't work. Shut down about, 20 years ago. And so there's no air. And I'm sitting, so finally I said, okay, God, you got me here. You got to fix this. Tell me what to do. I'm serious. I'm like, I'm here. I ain't leaving. Fix this. And I heard, take out your knitting. Well, they had lowered my knitting in a bag of props because they thought they might use it in the scene. I don't know why, because I was dead. I died there, and I wouldn't be knitting. But anyway, so I grabbed, maybe it could be, possibly, who knows. So I grabbed my knitting. I'm making socks for Christmas, so I'm knitting away. The minute I grabbed my knitting, it all started to go away. I had something to focus on, something physical to do, all that stuff, and it all got better. So we were down there about an hour that time. And then we got a 20-minute break, and we went down for another 45 minutes or an hour. But here's the thing. By the end of the whole thing, I was so peaceful, I could have stayed for the rest of the day. I'm serious. And it didn't get better. Here's the thing. It didn't get better, which would have been good. I would have been really happy if it had gotten better. It didn't get better. It was gone. So if it was gone, if the problem was completely gone, and I felt as comfortable and as peaceful as I do when I sit under my tree in the park and meditate, if I felt that calm, that centered, that whole, where was the problem? In your mind. The problem was all in my mind, and that's where it had to be corrected so that the truth could be revealed. I was safe. There's no one's hurting me. I was okay. I was fine. But here's where the problems need to be addressed. And here's where the truth needs to be revealed. It's not in the circumstance, because I was still in the same circumstance, right? I was still in the same circumstance, but my consciousness shifted into a place where I was at peace in that circumstance. And that's what we have to do. Absolutely. So in the song, the words, especially the second part, and I want to say where it says, I'll face without fearing any road in front of me. For me, doesn't mean that our knees don't shake. It means that we face it. And that's what I did. I went, I'm here and I'm not leaving, so you need to fix this. And when we call on that something, that higher self, that God self, that mind, that spirit, that soul, whatever you want to call it, it answers that call and gives you what you need in the moment that you need it. Not before or after, but in that moment. When you ask with that clarity and that purpose and that passion, you get it now, not later. So that part I get. Goethe said in part of his very well-known talk, he's talking about making a decision. He says, the moment one definitely commits oneself, providence moves too. So whatever that looks like, whatever is needed in the moment, that's the universe answering that call. I'm a consummate professional. I'm not letting down my team. I'm not making a fuss. I'm not going, no, I'm a professional. I'm going to show up and do the job no matter how difficult it looks. The next part is give without glory. So I think for that, what that means to me is it's not about this. It's not about aggrandizing this. It's about celebrating spirit. It's like my dad. He didn't know he didn't have the greatest voice in the world. He just sang. And everybody loved it. They couldn't get enough of it. And it wasn't about the quality of his voice. So we have to stop judging ourselves and comparing ourselves. Like it said in the, comparing yourself to another is deceit and temptation to try to live somebody else's life. We can't do that. It's when we live our own life that we shine. When we be the most in alignment with who we are. That's when our own light shines. Absolutely. And the next part is love without limits. Well, we just open our heart so wide, big enough that there's room for everything. Everybody and everything. We just expand, like I said in the song. Singing that song at home, I just became the all. Everything else melted away, and I just became the music. I became the song. There's another song that she sings on that same CD that says, "You are the writer, and I am your song. Let me be your instrument all my life long." Isn't that what we want? The Spirit is the writer, and we are the song. So let God sing you. Let God sing through you. Go without knowing wherever Spirit leads. Even means going down into a dark hole. I was so grateful. I was so grateful and thankful and proud. All the way home in the car, I kept going, I did it, I did it, I did it. And when I sent my daughter the thing with the picture in the hole and all this stuff, I said, if I can do that, I can do anything. So let's say that. If I can do that, I can do anything. So turn to the person next to you and say, if you can do that, you can do anything. Let's say that. If you can do that, you can do anything. Absolutely. So I did it, I did it, I did it. Once we face our fear, it was Eleanor Roosevelt who said, you must do the thing you think you cannot do. You have to do the thing you cannot do because it's blocking you from everything that's beyond that. You need to take that step so you can get to all the good that's waiting for you beyond that. Nothing can block God's good from pouring itself into your life. And I know that's happening right now. So I'm going to invite you to repeat these last 4 lines of the song after me, okay? Okay. I give without glory.
I give without glory.
I love without limits.
I love without limits.
I go without knowing.
I go without knowing.
Wherever Spirit leads.
Wherever Spirit leads.
And I'm going to add, and I do it now.
And I do it now.
Namaste.
Namaste.